where I'm from, you see it a couple times a year.
Good morning, Americans. It's Friday.
Another crabber, young guy, saw a black one, real close as a crow flies to where I saw my encounter. This was on the straight stretch on 109 just before Quinault, probably milepost 34 to 36 on SR 109. A lot of sightings there.
Yeah.
There's so after this guy had his sighting, I don't mean to bounce around.
No, go ahead.
I reached out to him and I said, write down all the details you can while it's still fresh. He got bothered. He had to go see a doctor because he was having heart problems because he was so upset about it.
Wow.
They walked right across the road in front of him that night. He was coming home from the casino.
We got a report like that when we were up at the UFO summit.
Oh,
Someone gave us the report.
about
This was on
5 years ago.
this was on 109. I forgot what milepost marker, but it was right by that. There's like a road that goes off to the side with a blue gate. There's a blue gate there anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Here in
Yeah.
Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is almost to the end of 109
Okay.
on the reservation,
Okay.
right on the coast. There was an
Okay.
old Coast Guard station there.
Okay.
So there is a road to the left that where he thought was probably a quarter mile from that road. There's a clear cut and then a tree line. I had him meet me there at the spot. Then so he showed me where walked in and it made sense. There was a sign, rock water over the road sign that they fold up when it's dry season. And it was right by that sign, and you could see that there was a lot of bushes and one opening, and so it made sense that that's where it went. So I had 6 trail cams, and I put them like in a crescent moon shape away from the road. So the farthest one was kind of pointed, just off the road, and then all out like so I got good coverage. I had them out there for about 3 months and I didn't see anything. I saw a coyote and a bird and a rabbit.
Yeah.
But that was it.
I kind of think that they can see the IR from the cameras. And
Yeah, I if something would have went through there, I would have got it because I had a good vantage. They were camo. I made sure that I left them outside for a long time so I didn't have any scent on them. I used nitro gloves when I handled them, but
He did everything right.
they did elude me.
Yeah, they do.
They're good at that.
Yeah,
They're good at that.
we have a lot of trail cams on because we have bear hunting guides, and they have bait stations that they monitor the movement, and so they're working with their clients and telling them, there's bears coming in. Actually, one of our bear guides had a client. So they leave the client in the stand in a blind on a bait station.
Yeah.
And one of his clients told him a red-haired ape man walked between him and the bait station, and it stopped and then kept walking. And there's a red-haired Bigfoot in that area, Queets area, that's been seen by like 4 people that I know.
I was wondering, you said you were a tribal officer for a while?
Yeah, I was a tribal cop for 8 years.
For 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get many reports from as a tribal cop?
No, I don't think I even got any, but people, the locals, the people from the community, you'll hear about a sighting, but they don't report it to the police.
Okay.
It's just a normal thing,
Yeah.
And a lot of times people they don't want the stigma. They don't want to talk about it.
Right.
True.
But if you open up, like if you go first, then they tell you
Sure.
the story.
So I have a question. I come from a sociological background, so human behavior and psychology and all that, and found it very interesting to hear that you said you just grew up. Bigfoot was just it just was. You
Yeah,
know?
we didn't.
So like, you know, surprise, surprise that not very many people actually go there.
Yeah.
But question, in your tribal tradition, how do they view Bigfoot? One thing that we've found is throughout the nation is different tribes have different understandings of what and who Bigfoot is, why he exists, what his relationship with Homo sapien is. What does the Quinault have to say about that?
So we have, it depends on who you talk to. We have religious people and non-religious people, and
Sure,
traditional
like anyone.
people and
Yeah.
non-traditional people.
Right.
So really, I couldn't say exactly. There's one belief system about it. Modern Quinaults, we just think it's a, it's a primate, an animal that lives in the.
Like a bear or
Yeah.
Okay, so
And in my opinion, I don't think they live because of how random the encounters are. In my opinion, they live in the Olympic Mountains, probably underground where there's like hot springs,
okay. And they're protected like cave systems?
caves, yeah.
Okay.
And they come out and look for food or look for a mate, the crossing on 109 where there's that leads to the ocean, and on that beach down there, I know of a couple of sightings. So they're in the
Mission.
they're in the surf looking for food.
Yeah.
There was a BFRO sighting from Ozette, where the kids from the school in Seattle came across one on the road, the trail out to the beach. So I mean, it makes sense that they would go where the food is.
So what is the for those who are more into the spiritual metaphysical, what is that understand? Are they benevolent?
It's not hostile. It's more like protector. Like you don't go looking for them.
Yeah.
You don't take pictures. I would never shoot.
Oh yeah.
I would none of us would ever
Yeah.
hunt something like that.
So
Like,
peaceful coexistence.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very
For sure.
very interesting.
Oh,
What's very interesting, I really kind of appreciate that you brought up probably living in caves, because we've compared sighting maps, like, the Bigfoot mapping project that has sightings, and we've overlaid that on the map of cave systems throughout
yeah,
the,
sure.
and they're the same.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
are the same.
There's so the Salt Duck, there's hot springs near Forks, and there's a lot of sightings up there.
Yeah, we're headed there next.
One, at least one every summer that I know of, springtime. There was actually just a sighting in Tuhola. Let me see if I can go back real quick. Okay, here we go. So this is April 28th. And she said, pretty positive when going to work just before 4 a.m. this morning, I seen a you-know-what, in quotes.
Yeah.
It came from the old highway junction by the church on the hill. There's a lot of sightings there. This is
The
in
junction
village
of
109 and the old road that went down into the village of Tuhola.
Okay.
So it's probably milepost 39. So she said, I seen you-know-what that came from the old highway junction up by the church on the hill, ran across the road into the bush behind the upper hill housing area. My nosy, a $sign, decided to go straight up past where it ran off to, and then I drove to housing to see if I could see it again, like a dumbass, LOL. It was running, so I'm sure it was a young one. There are no villagers or cars roaming at 4 a.m.
Wow.
That was April 28th. There's 28 comments, but I'm not
This
gonna
year.
go through
This year.
Hmm?
This year.
Yeah,
April
a
this
couple
year.
weeks
You
ago.
want to take a drive after this? Tomorrow morning?
Maybe.
So her dad, actually, this person that posted that, back in the mid 90s, I was working with him in the old clinic, we were tearing the floors out or putting new floor in or something like that. So we'd go in at night, and he was an old logger, and he used to, so north of the whole, if you go up the coast, it's all undeveloped logging roads. It goes along the coast. So the first creek north of the Quinault River is Duck Creek, and it's probably 5 miles north of the Quinault River, and then another couple miles from there is Camp Creek. And anyway, so one night I heard this like blood curdling scream come from across the river. I lived in the village in Tola, and on the other side of the river there's nothing over there. There was an old cemetery back in the pre-contact days, but there's no roads or trails or anything over there. And this was like 3 in the morning. I heard this. It sounded like a woman screaming bloody murder, and then it kind of turned into like a low, deep howl, like a wolf howl. But it was so loud, like it had to have been
Like it takes up all the space.
I could tell where
So you could feel it.
Yeah, so where my window was facing the river, but I could tell, like, if a car was driving around town, I could tell where they were. I could tell where the sound came from. It was from the other side of the river. And every dog in the village went crazy for like 15 minutes, barking and howling. Anyway, the next day I was talking to this guy, her dad, and his name was Lloyd. And we were sitting having coffee, and like 2 in the morning, I told him I heard this scream, and I described it to him. And he said that back when he was a logger, he would find the best trail, and then they would come in with a cat and then make the logging road for an area that they were getting ready to log. So he was walking through the woods and near Duck Creek, and he said he heard a noise and he looked up, and like 15 feet away, a Bigfoot grabbed a tree and moved it, and they were looking right at each other. And he said the face was like a really bad sunburn, the skin, and he said it was really unkept. And he said there was no white in its eyes. Those are the things that I remembered about it. How burnt, how unkept its hair was, and sunburnt, like really bad sunburnt skin, as though it reminded him of. But he told me that he saw 7 in his life.
That damn Sasquatch.
Squatch America, the